Okay, here's a resource on how to find the surface area of a rectangular prism. So our formula is surface area equals 2LW plus 2LH plus 2HW. And the reason that we get this formula is because we're finding the area of each face and adding them together. The reason that there's a 2 in front of each set is because opposite sides are congruent. So if we have L times H, that's like the bottom, the top is going to be the same amount. So that's times 2. So that's 2 of our faces. Then we could find the length times the height. So the length times the height is going to be like the front. Okay, and then the back is going to be the same. So that's why it's times 2. And then our last one is height times the width, because that'd be like the right side. And then the left side, which are going to be the same. And that makes up our 6 sides. So it's 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the height times the width. My suggestion is that you label each part before you start the problem. Okay, I have 2 examples. Here's our first example. In our first example, I'm just going to label my length, my width, and my height first. So length, width, and height. That way I know when I'm using my formula that I'm staying consistent within my problem. I'm going to write down my formula first. Surface area equals 2LW plus 2LH plus 2HW. It's always good to write that formula. And then I'm going to substitute. Every time there's an L, I put 22. Every time there's a W, I put 10. And every time there's an H, I put 14. So 2 times 22 times 10 plus 2 times 22 again, that's L, times H, which is 14, plus 2 times H, which is 14, times W, which is 10. So you want to make sure that you are substituting everything in there correctly, and you're substituting in the right values for the right variable. You have to stay consistent when you are doing this, and then you type it all into your calculator, and you should get 1,336 inches squared. It's surface area, so it is squared units. Okay, you have 3 sections of problems that you're doing. Remember, you have like the top and bottom, then you have the front and back, and then you have the right and left. You're finding those areas and adding them together. Okay, in our next example, I have this shape. Okay, so I'm going to do my formula first. Surface area equals 2LW plus 2LH plus 2HW. Now again, I substitute. I'm going to label length, width, height. It takes 1 second to label those, but then you're going to make sure that we're putting in the right variables for each part as you are working through these. Okay, and you got to make sure that, again, if there's an L, you're using the L value. If there's a W, you're using the W value. And if there is a H, you're using the H value. Okay, so I'm going to plug these in. So I'm going to do 2 times 7 times 5. So that's my first part. Plus, and then I have 2LH. So 2 times 7 times 16. And then my third part, which is HW, I'm going to do 2 times 16 times 5. Put that in my calculator, and you should get 454 feet squared. Okay, so it's formula, substitute in what you know, and then type it in your calculator. That's how you find the surface area. Okay, that is it. If